Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. Welcome back to Truth About Him, the #1 podcast on mental health. I'm Anthony.
I'm Barron.
So welcome to the show. As always, we love being here, love being with you guys. And same question every week. How was your week?
You know, I had a good week, brother. I mean, you know, we got stuff coming down the line. I'm happy that we have actually started to complete some stuff. Our camp, I'm super excited about Bro Code series coming out. Yeah. And we've expanded it, so it's not just one thing that we're gonna do. We're gonna expand it into basically a Bro Code universe. Right. So I'm super excited about that. Man of the House is completed. That'll be out for you guys within the week. And then I'm just excited about the projects we have going on. The Mantle was great last night. Yeah. I love the challenge that we put out as far as let's double it up next week. Right. So I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see how we accept that challenge. Yeah. So how was your week?
You know, this is a platform where we talk about real stuff, right? Last week for me was kind of challenging, right? Coming into Halloween, a lot going on, you know, physically, mentally. And last week was a push for me, right? But I had to get through it and walk through it. I think the biggest thing for me last week was feeling like I was not protecting my kids, right? So on Halloween, I took my kids to this local area, where it's pretty much safe, a lot of families, haunted houses, and people just really get into Halloween spirit over there.
Right. Sounds cool.
So I drop off my daughters, and then my son wants to go with his friends to shoot gel blaster guns, right? The little gel guns.
And how old is he?
He's 12.
Okay.
Right. So all his friends, 6, 7 of his friends, all have little guns. Mm-hmm. My thing is that he has a toy gun. Even though his toy is fake, I want to be there, just to make sure that everything is good.
Right.
So I'm hanging with him, and then I watch them. So they are out of their little gel bullets. They say, "Dad, we're gonna go trick or treat now." Okay, cool. Be safe, stay together, and walk around. I'm in my car, just hanging out. I get a phone call. Dad, Aaliyah just got jumped. That's my daughter. Right. And I'm not sure I shared with you. Did I share with you?
Nah, okay, not really. Cool. No.
She got jumped, and she's she's beat up. She's bleeding. Her teeth are kicked.
And this is on Halloween.
It's on Halloween, right?
Okay.
So I'm in the parking lot, like not far. I may be a block and a half from where she is.
Right.
Granted, I just seen her maybe a half hour before with her sister, and they're just hanging out. So, and I got a call from first my daughter called me, then her mom called me saying, "Oh, it's the same thing. She got jumped. She's this, she's that, she's this, she's that." Like, so there's so much traffic on Halloween, right?
Right.
I'm sitting in my car, so I get out and I sprint, right, block and a half. So I know you're enjoying the podcast, but I want to stop real quick and tell you about Barron's book, The Bro Code of Confidence. Now, men need confidence. Men need resilience. Men need to have a sense of purpose, but we don't always have that, right? We sometimes get stuck in figuring out who we are and what we need to do. The Bro Code is the perfect book to get you unstuck, to make things simpler so we can gain confidence and be resilient. Get the Bro Code, click the link in the description, get the Bro Code. Now back to the show. And I'm trying to get to my daughter, but I see this mob walking the opposite way. So I see my 2 older daughters, and I see their mom walking toward their friends, walking toward the park, because they're going to look for the girls. I'm like, you know what?
It's about to go down.
About to go down. So I'm like, you know what? I have to go with them. You know, my daughter, I hope she's safe, but my whole vision is like, she's messed up.
Right.
Get to the park, and pretty much it's like a mob of like 40 people, right? Yeah. And I'm thinking that this mob are people who are after my daughter, but the mob are the people who are on my daughter's side, right? Looking for the other group of girls, right? So get there, there's this big, final girls back and forth, going back and forth, big mess, right? It was like paparazzi out there. Cameras on, phones on, lights on. I mean, it was like, it's Kim Kardashian around here or something.
Right.
So after that goes down, the mob dissipates, goes away. I get back to the house where my daughter is, and it's not one mark on her, right? Like,
so it wasn't as bad as you thought it was.
the vision that was painted for me,
Right.
like she was a mess,
Right.
Like, you know, I got to go back now and take her to the ER, right? That's my thought,
Right.
So walking through that and looking for these people, I'm envisioning, you know, her face. I'm like, I'm about to murder somebody,
Right.
right?
Right. Justifying that anger.
Right, exactly. So when I get back, she's like, I'm like, oh, you look fine. So what happened was, she had gotten to a tussle with a girl, and then I guess my daughter was kind of like winning, so the other girl's friend jumped in and snuck her, popped her in the face.
That's against the rules.
Right, it's against the rules. So when the family saw her, they saw blood on her face, right? But the whole, I would say, exaggeration of it is what had me at 1,000, right? So get back, see her, she's like, Dad, I'm cool, and you know, watching the video, my daughter was putting hands on her, right? So I'm like, okay.
You was low-key proud.
That's my girl, right? That's my girl. She's like, Dad, I was cool. I handled it.
Right.
But I felt like I wasn't protecting my kid because I wasn't there when she was fighting, even though I couldn't have predicted that, right? But it is something about us
that want to be there and protect, but
right?
we know we can't be there 24/7.
Exactly.
It's not going to be there all the time.
Exactly. So it's just, you know, I had to. I know that talking to her, I did a good job of preparing her for that moment because it was her first fight, right? And hopefully her last, right?
Right.
So I always tell my kids. I mean, my oldest daughter is 22, and I always tell them for when she was in school, you don't start anything.
No.
You protect yourself. You defend yourself. And I'm like, did you defend yourself? She's like, yeah, I didn't start anything, right? And I don't mind the one-on-one stuff, right?
No.
But when someone comes in and tries to sneak you, that's
against
no-no.
that's foul. You don't do that,
right?
You just don't do that. If you're going head up, obviously, then your job as a friend is to keep everybody else from jumping in.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And then whatever happens.
Right. And then so her older sister was there and her best friend. So what they did was that when the other girl jumped in, they jumped in and tried to separate them. But the rival girl said that your girls jumped us, right? I'm like, the video is not really showing that.
Right.
And I'll show it to you after this. Right?
Definitely. I need to see that video.
After this. But it was like, no, they were just trying to break it up and not let her get jumped. So that happened. And then, you know, just like watching. So even though I don't condone fighting, you know, but I have to prepare my kids for if that happens, right? So her and I watched the video. I'm like, this is what you do next time. Right, you
gave her play-by-play,
slow motion, you know, but only if you're protecting yourself.
Right,
that's it. You never start
anything.
The first punch. You don't. Right, you protect yourself.
Right.
So my whole thing was that, you know, I just felt a little bit like I wasn't there to protect her, but she protected herself. I instilled these things into her early, so now she knows how to protect herself. So I had to stop and look at that. And know that, you know, you did a good job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And knowing that she held her own because you were able to give her some pointers, you know, just in case this happens. And years later, it happened.
Can you imagine what if you didn't give her the proper tools to protect herself? Right. How would that have looked?
That vision that I had probably would have been the reality.
That would have been the reality.
Right.
Yep. And things would have been a lot more worse than what they were. So you say, you know, we can't say I didn't protect them. I wasn't there because in essence you equipped her with the tools to protect herself. Right. And she got an A. She passed. She did good.
She got an A.
So kudos. Good job, Pops. Good job, Pops. Good job.
So they're not our topic today, but you know, I just want to, you know,
hey, that's just how we started off. That was actually that was good though. Yeah. She didn't need it actually can tie into our topic.
It can.
She didn't need any man to help save her or anything like that. She already had the tools from her number one man to help her out. So you know, we're going to get into the topic. What's the topic? What's the topic?
The topic we're talking about is that why men stop helping women, right? And it's like, you know, again, like why is chivalry dead, right? There's
or dying.
Because us men, we're stopping and more cautious about the support, the help we give to women because of the backlash that we may get because of the I don't need a man movement, and if I help. So I'll give you an example, right? This was some years back. I went to Winco in Moreno Valley.
Okay.
Right?
That's my spot. Shout out to Winco.
Right out to Winco, sponsor the podcast. I walk in there and I saw a member of my church, right? And it was a female. And I'm like, okay, I walk up and say hi.
That's interesting.
And she was kind of like, I ain't trying to talk to you.
Right.
I'm just saying hi.
Speaking.
Right. I'm just being polite.
Right.
Right. So I know there's a lot. And another example was like, I used to go this Circle K over here a lot, and I always saw the cashier. She always had a mean mug face. She always had a stank face. No matter how nice, oh, thank you, have a nice day, I would say to her, it's always a mean mug face. I see her a month later in Costco, and she's all smiles, and she's all like, So I go back to the Circle K. I'm like, I saw you in Costco. You look totally different. She said, well, you look in it, like, do you like your job? I'm like, no. She's like, it's just that, the guys are trying to hit on me, right? So I got to maintain this resting bitch face all the time, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how true it is, because me, I don't hit on nobody. I'm just saying hi.
Right.
And if you assume that if a guy's saying hi, he wants to hit on you or he wants to smash, then that's something that we need to look at.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That is a perception that at that point, for that example, that person you're paying for the sins of
That part.
the guys in the past. And that's not fair that's not fair to her, because she could be missing out on, not saying that you were her future.
Just being
she could
friendly.
be missing out. Yeah, she could be missing out on a real, genuine human connection.
Right.
But because she is scarred, because she is scarred from the past, then all men suffer.
So is it, it can be a scar, but is it, I know it's not always a scar, but we have social media, and there's I don't need a man movement because I'm independent, I can do it on my own, don't touch me, because if I faint and you come give me CPR, oh yeah, he was touching my breasts.
Right.
Right.
Sexually harassed.
These things happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There was this story in China where this woman was on their train system, and she collapsed, and there were about 3 or 4 guys who were in their 20s, mid-20s. They just stood there, and like these guys. So China requires their men to be military trained as far as like CPR and help people out, right? So they just stood there, right, and really didn't do anything. And they were asked why. It's like, well, right now we didn't do anything because the movement now is like, if we touch a woman, we're going to be accused of sexual harassment.
Right.
Right. Because that's what's out there. It's the Me Too movement. And I know what happens. Right. I know what happens. And I'm not discounting anybody who's done that or experienced that. It happens. But us men are coming to a point where, you know what, we're super cautious to jump in and help because we're not sure what's going to happen. A thank you will be nice, but it's not always a thank you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. I think we have to. We're as men. We're kind of like if you don't want us to help you, sometimes we're not going to help you at all until you say, "I need your help," or "Could you help me with this?" Because then we feel safer in helping someone. The problem is nobody's communicating that. Nobody, the female is not communicating it to the male, and the male is not communicating it with the female. Like, hey, because of everything that's going on in the world, if you need me, holler at me. You know, other than that, I'm gonna stand back in the back and let you handle your business.
What about if you don't know the person and something happens like on a train or at a gas station or whatever? It's like you don't know them. How can you communicate that to someone that you don't know?
Therein lies the issue, because I don't necessarily feel safe communicating with another person, another woman, or trying to help them out because I don't know how she's going to perceive it. I don't know. I don't know her from a can of paint.
Right.
I don't know what she's going to do. I don't know. So that kind of makes us, if you compared it back to early 90s and even the 80s where we would jump in and be that savior. Look at Captain Saberho.
Right.
You know, nobody doing that. Most majority of us aren't doing that no more because, you know, we don't want to be perceived as some type of creep or some type of, we don't want to be that guy.
Right.
You know, like, oh, he's only trying to do this. I'm just telling you, you can't even compliment him.
Nah.
You can't even compliment. I like those shoes, or I like those jeans, or I like that top.
And it can't be just that. Like, it can't be like just that.
It can't be just that. So here's a question I'll propose. And it's been proposed over decades. Can men and women be genuine friends? You know, it just depends. Like, I have female friends, but they've gone all the way back to like grade school with me, you know? So we know of each other. But as far as having female friends, like new female friends, no. Nah.
I would say yes, but to a certain point, right? Multiple female friends, I don't think that well, if you're by yourself and you're single and all that, that's totally fine, you know.
Right.
You do you. But if you have a significant other, I don't think that's really appropriate unless your significant other and them are best friends, and then they bring you in.
Or you met them together. You know, you and your significant other, you met them together. And it's like, oh, yeah, y'all are cool.
Yeah, I think more like associates. Not always like, hanging out, kicking it, going out, not like that. But so I think it's very, very possible because I've been in that position where, you're a female, but you're just a friend. Right. Nothing happened, no hugging, no kissing, no intimacy. It's just a friend. And yeah, that female may be attractive to you, but this is a boundary that I'm not going to cross because this is something that I don't want to do.
Right. Especially if they're good friends.
If they're good friends, yeah.
You do not want to damage that friendship. Yeah. So I agree. But then again too, you know how people, I don't know how, like, my kids use this word a lot, and I'm like, you need to really define the word friend.
Right.
If you have a whole lot of friends, there's something wrong.
Right.
There's something wrong. Yeah. Now you can have associates. Yeah. You can have, people that you're just cool with for just a certain, a season.
Right.
But a friend, I literally should be able to count it on one hand how many friends you have.
And I can. I got
one
5.
hand. That's
five.
about it. That's about all you need because.
Hold on. Am I one of your friends?
You my dog, yeah, of course, bro. We have more similarities than we do.
I gotta make sure I made the list.
Hey, I should ask the same question. Do I make the list, bro?
First it was this. Now it was this.
Okay, all right. Okay, I guess I made the list. I made the last one. I was the 5 finger. I was the 5th finger.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, cool.
It's just that inner circle.
But you don't need a whole lot. You don't need because if you think about it, the more friends you have, the more opportunity you have for gossip, hating. You don't know who to trust. If I have 50 friends, and I told them something about myself and it got out.
Oh, it's gonna get out. 50 friends, it's gonna come out misconstrued. It's gonna come out as a different story.
And I don't even know who to go to. So who do I go to to find out who put this information out on me? Right. But if I got 5 friends and I tell one of them one thing and it gets out, it's highly likely that I'm gonna find out how it got out. So
Jay-Z has I don't know what song it is, but
figure it out. Figure it out.
Yeah. He says something about Memphis Bleak said so and so, basically, less of us is better, right? We don't need a bunch of less is more. Less
is more. I love less.
Yeah, less is definitely more. And if you have that group of people or friends that you trust, right? Like my core group of guys, our thing is like this. We trust each other so much. We have a group text that we say anything, but we know if something happens, somebody deletes the whole because God's looking at us, right? Delete the whole thing, right?
That is so valid. I mean, as long as everybody have an understanding.
Yep.
I mean, that's the bond of friendship.
Yeah.
You know, and then that's why I asked that question: can men and women truly be friends?
Yeah.
Not
maybe associates.
You know, I think associates, yes.
Yeah.
Because I have associates that are friends.
Yeah.
I don't see them all the time.
Right.
Nor do I need to see them all the time. I have best friends. I don't need to see them all the time.
Right.
So
that's the same thing as like, can a man be an associate with a woman and really not be intimate with them? I'm gonna say yes.
I can say yes to that.
Yes.
I can say yes to that as long as everything is respectful.
Why is that so hard for women to believe though? Right? Is that, oh no, you can't just be friends. You can't. It's like, I'm like, yes, I can. I'm a man, and like I know that I don't want to cross the line on certain things because that's first of all, that's not who I am.
Right.
That's not my character. Right. And I just want to say, you know, as a disclaimer, is like we're talking about why men don't help women, and what we're not talking about is that if a man is sitting there watching a woman get beat or get robbed or that, you definitely step in.
You definitely step in. You don't question anything.
Yeah, you step in.
She's in immediate danger.
Right.
Whether she wants your help or not.
Right. Yeah. So
you have to step in.
That's not what we're not talking about.
Right. Yeah.
We're talking about more of like the day to day, you know, car it stops on the side of the road, you know, hood's up, she's out there.
Right.
Like, you know, you walk up, she's a stank face. Like, okay, you know, cool.
Now, hypothetically, let's say that happened. Let's play that scenario out. You're driving, and a lady's car, she's on the side of the road, she's stranded. You get out to see if she needs any help. She gives you this face. What is your response to that?
My response is that I'm just here to make sure that you're okay. First of all, I stand back, right? 5 feet, 2 feet, whatever, right? I stand back at a safe distance. You know, I just stopped to make sure that you were okay, right? So that's happened to me before, and I can be wearing a hat or a beanie or some fatigues, and my first thought is to take off my beanie, right? But I shouldn't do that because I know that I'm not a danger.
Right.
But even though I want her to feel safe, feel safe, but like, why should I change who I am naturally? I'm coming to help you.
Right.
Right. I'm coming to give you some support.
You know your intentions.
You know my intentions, right? But then when I talk, it's like, hey, I just want to make sure that you're cool. Are you cool? Yeah, you know, I've got both. Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Or I get the look. Or, you know what? Yeah, thank you. You know, my husband's on the way, right? So I've gotten both. But I just want to, I'm just making sure that you're okay. Or I will pull up. You know, like, oh, okay, are you okay? But I think even the pull up is the worst. you pull up,
it's creepy.
Look over, okay,
right?
Yeah, look over.
You all right?
Yeah, all right.
So I don't know if I would, but see, that's why you're the nicer one out of the group, because if put myself in that same situation, you give me the stank face. Oh, you good? I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on mind my business. I'm out.
Smash out.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. You don't need my help.
Yeah,
I'm out.
And that's the point. It's like we get those faces and we stop wanting to help. But then what if it's somebody that is generally not stank and they need help? We sometimes judge them for that. Okay, you know what? I ain't gonna waste my time helping her because like, get out, I'm gonna get a stank face, right? It is.
That's the response to the response. We're responding to how we think they're gonna respond based on our history in the past. It's the same thing. They're responding to us based on something that happened to the past. Put it like this. Here's a quick question. Think about this. Think about from the time you were 13, let's just say 13. That's a safe age. How many times did you get propositioned by the opposite sex for sex, kissing behind the building, whatever? How many times did you get propositioned sexually at 13?
One time it was a prostitute.
Okay, that's way out. That don't count because that's her job. But one time, the evolution. Women are just, they're more than just housewives. They're more than just, stay-at-home moms and stuff like that. So they are in the workforce. They're recognizing their power.
Right.
They're becoming more self-sufficient.
Is it power, or is it a disregard for men and us and what we can provide? Because I think there's a difference.
There is a huge difference. You can honor what we bring to the table
And still be powerful.
and still be
Yes,
powerful.
I agree.
Because you can realize that, and it's common sense. Two is always going to be greater than
Right.
one.
Amen.
Two powerful people was always going to be greater than one powerful person.
Yeah.
So why would I not want my partner to be powerful, or just
Right.
as powerful as
Right.
myself?
Right.
There is the evolution.
Yeah.
I think women have always had a certain
Yeah.
power,
Yes.
but maybe the history, because history is the greatest predictor of the future. Like we can see their history in the past was depend on your husband, for the husband cooks, the husband is the breadwinner, the caveman goes out, kills, brings it home, the wife cooks it up. Everything's evolving now. Everything is becoming more modern because the world is evolving. If we go back to the 60s, when it was the man was the head of the household, the man went to work, the man did this, the wife stayed at home. Let's look at the world at that time now. How much was gas? How much was groceries? How much was mortgage? It was a lot cheaper. Everything is going up. So in order to live a thriving, successful life, and you need to have two. Two is better.
Right.
Two is better to have. It's harder with one person to try to make it on their own. So two takes the load off of you. As men, that's where we got smarter or dumber. Smarter if we acknowledge that fact. Dumber if we refuse to look at that fact as a matter of fact. And we still want to cling to the past. The past is exactly what it is.
I'm gonna give you a bit of pushback on that.
Okay, let's get it.
So going back to 50s, 60s, 70s, well, I say 50s, 60s, right, where the man worked, the women stayed home and cooked, took care of the kids. Back then, the divorce rate was a lot lower. Right? People didn't get divorced over a social media post or over things that we get divorced for now. Right? So do you think that was a lack of a woman knowing what her power was, or it was more of, I know my role and this is a family unit and I'm gonna do what I have to do to make sure that this thing grows, maintains, or whatever, right? It was a lot less back then.
It was a lot less distractions. It was a lot. We didn't have social media. We probably only had about maybe, and I'm really rounding up, 10 channels on the TV. So we didn't have MTV. We didn't have all these magazines, or we didn't have not even magazines anymore, because social media is on the mag. Social media is our magazine.
Right.
So we didn't have these things affecting our lives, saying you could do better, you could do this, you could do that. I would imagine that if we had the things in the 50s that we have right now, those numbers would either mirror what they are today or be higher. Here's why. Options. I don't have to stay with you. You're not my end all be all.
Is that really a authentic option though?
Not if you're enlightened and smart and knowledgeable. No, because you're letting outside sources tell you what's going on in your house.
Right.
They don't know you from a can of paint.
Right.
They can't tell you how to run and live your life in your house. So it all depends on you. We said it in earlier episodes, the TV is going to do its job.
Right.
It's going to tell us what it wants us to.
A vision.
It's going to tell us exactly what it wants to tell us. Now, we don't have to accept it. We can accept or reject it.
Right.
So I think that's what it's the individual in the situation. Outside factors are exactly what they are, outside factors.
Right.
And I think the reason why that women stayed, or the divorce rate was lower back then, was the lack of awareness, the lack of options at that time. Remember, they always had the same power. A woman is the same woman from the 50s as she is in 2024.
Right.
But she's aware, more aware. Why is she more aware? Because she has more options. She's not just reading a Sears catalog. She's reading self-help, empowering books that feed into her life and that pump her up and put that battery in their back, whether it's good or bad.
Right.
You know, it's a battery that goes in their back.
When you say awareness, are you speaking more of they're more aware in a positive light or negative light or like indifferent light? Like, what do you mean by they're more aware?
They're more aware of their own possibilities.
Okay.
Whether it's good or bad. Maybe some women stay out of fear of, I don't know, this is all I know.
Right.
He's all I know.
Right.
This is all, he's my first this.
Right.
We have these kids, we have this house.
Right.
I don't know any other, I don't know how to be a professional woman because I've always been a housewife.
Yeah.
I don't know how to go and work out in the field because all I know is to take care of my kids.
Right.
So I'll put up with some bullshit, you know. I'll eat a little bit of this just to make sure that my life is protected and my life is sustainable. Now,
Jeez, that's tough. That's tough.
That's tough.
I think it even happens now still, right? And
I think it does still happen now, but I don't think it happens as much,
right.
as it happened prior to, because like, they just have more awareness now, and they've become more. I'm not even gonna say honorary because I actually love an empowered woman.
Yeah.
I love a woman that knows her strength. I love a woman that knows what she wants to do with herself and wants to do with her life and can be my co-pilot. That is a turn on for me.
And that's the thing that I love you said that, and I want to stress. It's like an empowered woman that can be your co-pilot, not thinking that I don't need you.
Right.
I can do it by myself, and I don't need no man. Like you said, two is better than one.
Two is better than one.
And if the man has that mentality, you know what? I'm a powerful man. I can achieve these things. Yes, we can do it by ourselves, but how much more powerful can we be?
How much more could we get
if we do it together, right? And like that's the thing I want to stress is like, you know, if you want to be an independent woman, you know, by all means, you know, do it. You know, I support whatever you want, right?
Yep.
Support whatever you want. I'm not here to tell you not to be. If you don't think you don't need a man, I support that. You know, that's you. You know, as the kids say, you do you, boo.
You do you, boo boo.
Right. You know, so we're not here saying that that's wrong or you can't do that. We support what you want, but our thing is like when that is presented to us as men, we back off and give you what you want, right? If you want to be an independent single woman and want to do whatever, we support that.
Exactly.
Right? You know, you make your choices, we make ours. But I know the kind of woman that I want in my life is someone that can come alongside of me, help me build, help me grow, because I know, again, two is better than one.
It's better than one.
Right?
The flip side to that is, yes, we want you to go ahead and be independent. Yes, we support your independent journey. We 1,000%.
Right.
The flip side to that is you cannot get mad at us for not being that man that you want us to be, or that man that you expect us to be in your eyes. You don't want us to support you. You don't want us to help you. You don't need us, right? But when the shit is the fan, you need us.
It's funny you say that.
It's amazing to me. While you know you can't do both.
Right.
You can't play both sides. You either are strong with us. You don't have to be strong without us. Like we're just as enlightened as they are, and we are. The strongest man knows that he has a strong woman behind him. He knows that.
That's the strongest. That's so fucking good right there. The strongest man knows he has a strong woman behind him.
You know why? Damn. Because I'm strong. Let's say I'm strong on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm an 8. I'm an 8. Yeah. Can you with my woman right next to me? What am I now?
She an 8 too? 16?
Yeah, she can be. Yeah, she at least an 8. I give her an 8.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I love her, but nah. She's about a 7 or 5. She will call
but it
for
still
everything.
adds.
It adds. Yeah, it's an additive.
Yours, right?
Exactly.
Even if it's 1, you an 8. Like
I'm
a
a 9.
9, right? right? Even for the half, you're eight.
I'm eight and a half,
right? So how much more could you do? And it baffles my freaking finite mind is that when a woman asks for something, says, I don't want you to do this for me, and we stop doing that, and they get so freaking surprised that we stop. It's what you asked for.
It's what you asked for.
It's what you asked for.
And I don't understand. We're not, I've said this 1,000 times, and I don't think it's the first time you ever hear me say this. We're not the smartest.
No.
We are not the smartest. The woman is the smarter sex.
Yes.
Until those emotions kick in.
Oof,
Once the emotions kick in, they are less smarter than they were.
Right.
And it's because some, not all, I don't want to overgeneralize, some, they base their decisions off of emotions.
Right.
And
we're logic.
And we use logic, and we're simple. If you tell us you don't want us to do something for you, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
We're not going to do it. So be careful, not only what you tell us, be careful how you tell us.
Right.
Because we listen. Yeah. We listen, especially nowadays when you have to with the Me Too movement, with the evolution of the woman. We don't want to disrespect.
Yeah.
So to be respectful, we will fall back if that's what you want.
Yeah.
But don't get mad and don't hold us and rake us over the coals.
Well, so and so said, I listened to this video that so and so said that you should be doing this. Why don't you go marry him then?
Oh, I tune out whenever I hear a conversation that starts. I hate to do it. When I hear a conversation say, well, such and such said, I automatically draw blank. I automatically go somewhere else in the conversation, because now you're letting, again, outside factors dictate what's going on inside these four walls. Right. That doesn't happen. Only person outside, and is technically not even outside, is the man above.
Right.
That's the only person.
Right.
So I don't get the whole. Now it's good to read and say, hey, I was reading this book, and what do you think about this?
Feedback.
This is what I was reading, and it made sense to me. Yeah. I wonder if it makes sense to you. Yeah. And be like, nah, that's crazy. I wouldn't do that. Here's why I wouldn't do that. Yeah. That's what we got to be prepared to do. We just can't be like, nah, that's crazy, and just dismiss it as bullshit. We just can't do that. Yeah.
Even though it may be, but don't.
It may be.
Don't present it that way, right?
Don't present it that way. You have to honor it as, okay, look at it like this. The person that's telling me this is somebody I value and trust. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to, even if it's bullshit, I'm going to honor it because it came from you.
And never say it's bullshit. You can think all you want, but what comes out of here is like so important, because over time it can break down a relationship, right? Or break down what men do for women. Because if we constantly hear, I don't want you, I don't need you, I can do it by myself. But this is the trip thing, V, is like most of the women who are saying that are single.
I was just about to go there.
I would say 95, 99% is like they're single. And check this out. You hear Cardi B, Beyonce, Megan Thee Stallion talking about, go. We women, we strong, we independent.
I love it. I love it.
But like, they go back home to who?
They go back to their husbands. They have husbands.
They have husbands.
They have solid husbands. I'm not in nobody's business. I could care less. I stay in my lane because ain't no traffic there. But
it was today though.
It was.
God, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That was so much. But I hate traffic. But they have relationships, and people sometimes people fail to realize that music is a business.
Yeah.
Beyonce, Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion, they are selling an image, a character to the world. If people really think Beyonce is at home wearing the stuff that she wears on stage, they are delusional.
But she even said that. She said, what you guys see and you guys hear, that's not me. That's Sasha Fierce, my alter ego.
Right.
That's not Beyonce. I'm not her.
Right.
when I'm done with that, I dress well. I go back home to my husband and kids. But it's like that's what's being lived. Even though they're saying this is not what I do, and I think she's the only one who said that. But if you look at the reality of what's going on, is that you listen to this music, and that's not the life that they're living.
That's not the life that they live.
It's a business. Even back in the day, NWA. They wasn't shooting cops and raping girls. No, it was just a lifestyle they were portraying. They may have seen that out there themselves.
That's all they were.
But it's not something that they were doing.
No.
You think if they were doing all that, Ice Cube would still be married to the same girl this day? No.
They never bring that up. Ice Cube been married to the same woman over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
He's Ice Cube. If you think that they were even that, let's put the marriage to the side. If you think they were true niggas with attitudes, do you think we wouldn't have got Friday? We wouldn't have got that whole Friday series.
Right.
We wouldn't even got. And I've never cared for these movies, but we never wouldn't have got. Are We There Yet? Right. Ice Cube got Disney money.
Right. You got
Disney money.
Yeah.
So, and Disney is not letting niggas with attitudes in their boardroom.
Yeah.
So
wouldn't have a big three.
They still trying to. I don't even want to touch that one because
okay.
that's NBA and everything, and I love the NBA, but there's some stuff they got to work on with that. But it would have never had. We would have never. I never thought in a lifetime I would see the big three and actually enjoy watching it.
Right.
That is actually interesting basketball, especially for us older. 3-on-3, it's perfect, right in my lane. I think that's my next journey. Might not go from 5-on-5, just go to 3-on-3,
right?
And play 3-on-3 ball. But
do a tournament.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. We should host a tournament. That's what we should do. We should host our own tournament. 3-on-3 basketball.
I think we're on to something right there. Let me write that down. 3-on-3.
Yeah.
But that's just a facade. That's an image. You don't pay any attention to the facade or the image. Only thing you're using that facade or the image for is entertainment. That's it. How do they make you feel at that particular time?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But once you're done with that, you live your life accordingly. You're not Megan Thee Stallion when you washing your clothes. You're not Megan Thee Stallion when you are talking to your boss.
Right.
You're not. So that's a facade. That's just an image.
Your boyfriend. There's a picture of Megan Thee Stallion. I'm not sure what her boyfriend is, but it was a picture of her and her boyfriend. He's playing the game and she's just on the floor with her legs on him, right? Just chilling out. But if you listen to the music, that's not her style.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's like, look at the reality of things. And I guess like my whole point in all this is that right now in this day and age, men are scared to step up and help because of the backlash we may get. Right. And because we've been told, no, I don't need you, I don't want you for so long that we're good.
Right.
Right. We're good. And if I do say, you know what, let me step in and help. Oh, he did this, and he was trying to talk to me. It's like, no, we were not. We were trying to genuinely help because that's what God put in us. God put this is to protect and to provide for people who can't do it for themselves, right? That's part of who we are. So when we do it, accept it, or we just go and back off of this and let you become your own alpha
and let you do you. Exactly.
Do you?
But we come from we've all got mothers.
Yeah.
We've all come from a woman, so it's an innate feeling in us to make sure that the women that we encounter in peril or have questions are taken care of.
Right.
It's not that we are trying to, push up on you like you said, but we have mothers. What would we want if that was our mother out in the street?
Right.
Would we want someone to help her?
Yes.
Or would we want our mother to be like, oh, I'm too proud, I got this? No, help my mom out. Right. So I think that's a misconception that maybe, or perspective that women don't think about either.
Yeah.
It's like, we come from women.
Yeah.
we want to make sure you're good just on the strength of that alone. Just on the strength of that alone, we want to make sure you're good.
I love that.
So that's an interesting perspective that I don't think gets a lot of light shined on it because it's important. It's, you know, I always ask why. Why did we go out there and ask? Why are we so concerned about women? Why wouldn't we just roll right past them?
Yeah.
Because we wouldn't want anybody to roll past our mom like that on the street.
There was this, I was at Walmart, and
Good old Walmart.
Walmart, I've already shopped there. I'm trying to upgrade my mentality to be at Target all the time. But yeah.
Time out. I hit Walmart up to get necessities. I don't care.
Right.
Now I hit Target up when I want to get my other stuff.
Gotcha.
But shit, you walk out of Target with 3 things and that's $60.
You up.
God.
But I'm there, and this lady, she was homeless, right? And she asked me for some change. I gave her $1. That's all you got?
Whoa.
Give me my $1 back.
Give my $1 back. Give my $1 back.
And she gave me a stank look. I'm like,
I don't care about your stank look.
Give me my $1 back. And she was so surprised. I'm like, this is the shit I'm talking about. It's like, why? It's like I wanted to help. I had $1 on me. That's all the cash I had on me, and that's because it was in my pocket from last week or whatever, right?
Right.
And I gave it to her. She's like, that's all you got? She says, I know you got more. That's what she said. I know you got more.
I would have. See, people like that, I really like to mess with. Based on what?
Based on the car I was driving.
Of course, I know. Based on what? Yeah, that's that. People are looking at what you have and they assume.
Right.
They assume. You don't know what. You don't know. I could be living in that car.
Exactly.
You don't know what the situation is.
It can be my friend's car. It can be a rental. You have no clue.
You have no clue.
Not at all.
Stop assuming. And I'm glad I had the same incident, but I didn't happen like I gave her a 5, and she didn't. She thanked me, and because she said, I'm paraphrasing, thank you for. She didn't even say thank you for the 5. She said thank you for stopping and speaking to me because most people just will stop.
I love that.
And look at me crazy and walk right past me.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? And she wasn't looking for a handout. She was. Whether they were stolen or not, I don't know. But she was selling candles.
You didn't steal it.
I didn't steal it. I didn't steal it.
I didn't steal it.
I didn't steal it, but I invested in her.
Right.
You know, I'm learning that you have to learn to start investing because I was a cold, I'll be like, no.
Piece of work.
I was a cold piece of work. And no, I'm not giving you anything because of past experiences that have happened to me with that. But yeah. I just felt the need to do it at that particular time. And honestly, my wife is the reason why I started doing it again. Because she was a hard ass like me when it came to giving money out to the homeless or what have you, based on our past experiences in LA. I'm like, nah, you just trying to, that's money for dope or whatever. No, I'm not giving you that. But as she got older and got softer and nicer, I'm like, damn, you done got nicer now as you got older. Oh, that made me self-reflect. I can't be the same way I was. I have to evolve as well. So I was like, damn, okay. So yeah, I gave her the 5. She thanked me for my time, not the money.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I felt good that I did the right thing. And I swear that 5 I gave her, less than 3 hours later, God gave it back to me. Gave it right back to me. Same, not the same 5, but a 5.
I just feel the same way as you. Is like, I'm not giving you money. You can go buy drugs or alcohol or whatever. But a mentor told me, it's like, that's small thinking, right? Mm-hmm. What you give is between you and God. What they do with it is between them and God, right? Your job is to give because God wants us to give. Right. Don't worry about what they're gonna do. That's between them and God.
Their God. Yep.
So I give, and that story that you just told about how she was grateful, it gave me hope, right? It's like everybody is not on that power trip, right? So we have to be careful and evaluate who we're talking to, who that person is, and even us as men don't prejudge anybody based on what the world has shown us, right? Or based on the negative experience that we have, because I believe that everything we do is based on our past experience. And if that experience is negative, we're going to think, you know what, if I do that, it's going to be the same thing, right? Because there are some genuine men and women out there who are totally grateful for everything that they get, and grateful that someone stopped to help them. And I'm thinking that if I'm not there and my daughter got stranded on the road, I would want a genuine nice man to come and help her, right? And even though I prepared her, but she's being helped, right? So they're still out there.
Yeah,
there's still good women out there, good men who are truly genuine, gentlemen and gentle ladies, right? They're there. So we got to recognize that when it comes up, because I don't want us as men to start getting a hard heart based on what other people are doing. But again, if you want to be independent, you do you.
Be independent.
Right?
We support that 1,000%. Like we said, that is something that you should want to be able to have your own, because if the shit ever hit the fan where
something happens to your husband,
you're not lost. Right. You're not lost. You're not out here trying to figure out how to live now.
We're looking for another man to take his place, right? Because you don't know what to do, right? So I definitely on both sides.
Yep. So it's that, that genuineness of just taking people who come across your life on a personal basis. I don't judge the person in front of me based on the person that was before them.
Right.
I judge people according to how they treat me.
Right.
I judge people according to who I feel are a value, an asset, or a liability to me.
Right.
The older I get, the more I start to look at things in strictly those two categories.
Right.
And knowledge is good, knowledge is power, but the application of that knowledge is the most powerful thing. Now, if I know that you are a liability in certain ways in my life, then I know that part of my life I can't share with you.
Right.
But that doesn't mean I totally X you out of my life completely. I just don't incorporate you in that life, in that part of my life, because you don't provide an asset. So I think that's what we got to do, is we take people on a trial, on a first come, first basis. It's like whoever comes across you, give that person the opportunity. Don't let that person pay for the sins, the prior sins of others.
Give them some grace.
So give them some grace.
Give that person the same grace that you would expect from anybody else. Right.
One of the main things my mentor told me was, you treat everybody how you would want your mother to be treated.
I like that.
Yeah. Once he said that, I was like, man, okay.
Yeah.
It makes your life a lot simpler.
Yeah, it does.
And you treat everybody, no matter who they are, male, female, you treat everybody with the same respect that you would want your mother to be treated with.
That.
So
I love that.
that's all I got. I'm gonna drop the pin on that one.
Drop the pin on that one.
Yep.
So, man, that was a good one. Give him some pound. So, we continue. One thing I want to say is that I've been getting a lot of feedback from this podcast, right?
Yeah.
A lot of feedback from people watching. They're loving it. And the number one thing they say is, that you and Barron have amazing chemistry on camera, right? We bounce off, we talk, but that's one thing. I mean, I know you know that, but it's
good to see.
It's good to hear and see, and okay, you guys are watching.
Yep, it's good to see that they can see it. So
it
ain't fake.
Yeah, it ain't fake.
It ain't fake.
That's it. That's it for us. So this was one that I think was important to talk about.
Yeah,
right. It was. So you guys, thank you for watching the Truth About Him podcast, #1 podcast for men's mental health and wellness. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and share with somebody who needs to hear this message, because Barron and I put a lot into this. Thank you for support. We'll see you guys next week.
Peace.